Spartans, welcome back. It's your boy Leonidas back with another Road to Grandmaster episode. In today's episode, we look at none other than America's own Wesley So. Originally, Wesley So represented the Philippines, but then after some little bit of drama, he decided to represent the USA, and he has done so ever since. He is a super GM, somebody who prides himself in his prep work, his theory-based moves, and an all-around great player. Maybe not the top tier of players, but he is up there and he can give anybody on that top tier a run for their money on any given Sunday in the football terms, or American football as we like to say. I hope you guys enjoy. Hold the line until next time. Peace. The game begins with Wesley So with the black pieces opening up with the Sicilian defense. It gets transposed into the Rosalimo attack. Obviously not transposed. It turns into the Rosalimo attack. And the point of the Rosalimo attack with putting this bishop out onto the b5 square, one, is to put pressure on this knight. That way black cannot move this d pawn, because if they do, you would potentially take and open up the b file in the future for attacks on the queen side. So we have the knights getting connected. Black does not want to have that bishop there, so they move the knight, and white really doesn't want to lose that bishop either, so they push it back. And this move bishop back to A, B, C, D, E, F, F1 is the first move that was not part of the book openings. They played 6 moves of book openings, which in my defense, I could never play 6 moves of book openings. I would probably hang my queen if I tried to do that. And now black decides to try to connect the knights. These knights are very powerful when they are connected, but white does not want to see that happen. They immediately want to kick that knight out. But instead of retreating that knight back to here, it's kind of trapped, so they do have to take. Obviously, they would know at this position and in this level of chess that when you committed this knight here, you only had one option. It was to take that knight on the f3 square. White takes, black moves. Black is potentially going to castle straight into the face of the queen, which they do. It's a very bold statement saying, come get me. Come get me. You think you got it? Come get it. I can't castle when there's a queen facing me. I very rarely castle because you have these things looking at you. You have the knight that could very quickly start shuffling through here, getting into a nice position in the future. Actually, this knight would just reroute here. It'd go here. It'd go here. It'd reroute. And then all of a sudden you're looking at a knight into your kingside position. But these guys are not at the Grandmaster level for nothing. Queen moves over. Pawn pushes up. And now Wesley is facing mate 1. Say this was a blitz game or a bullet game, some of us would probably try to put our queen onto the b6 square, hanging mate 1. Say you do that, all of a sudden, oh no, I got checkmated. But obviously these guys are 2,500, 2,600 at the 25-ish. You can see here, what is it? 2531 for Wesley, 2402 for Rolando. These guys are high-level players. They're not going to allow that to happen. And now we're going to turn off the eval bar because it does stay pretty even for most of the game. Bishop comes out to protect from mate 1. We have the rerouting of the knights, and we have the next few moves are some tactical moves. They are improving moves. They are defensive moves. That knight comes in. You don't want to take it, obviously, because you lose your queen and you want to avoid a fork. So you move your queen up and you're starting to stack your pieces for an attack down this d file in the future. Say this knight does get kicked out. Say you move this bishop out here. All of a sudden, this knight will move out of the way somewhere, and then you would have an attack here in the future, potentially. Obviously, looking out for that bishop that was there. But Wesley is trying to do some maneuvering. 9 times out of 10, you don't want to move your pieces back. But this isn't 9 times out of 10 with these guys. These guys know what to do. They've moved 2 pieces in a row. Wesley moved 2 pieces back. He moved the knight back, then he moved the bishop back, and then he moved the knight back to the position. I don't exactly know if that was the top engine move. Let's see what the engine wanted to say. Okay, the knight move was a slight inaccuracy. They wanted to keep it there, and they wanted to go immediately on the defensive, sliding this bishop out of the way. But I think Wesley realized that as soon as he moved the knight back, he can put it back where it belongs and establish that strong knight position. Really don't want to move that knight because that thing is looking very tasty, very scrumptious, very cheeky, as one young Frank is here, chess player might say. That knight is very strong, and it will only get taken out by a knight or a bishop. You're not going to really sacrifice any other pieces for that. But what can white do? I think the eval bar has black in favor now. With that bishop moving in to attack that knight, Wesley says, okay, you can take it if you want. Obviously, a bishop is still worth more than a knight, and you open up yourself for some hurt if you take with that bishop. You could open up with a pawn, or potentially just take it with a queen, and now this queen has patrolling of the middle of the board, and that would not be good for white's position. So we have a very committal move. A very committal move. Wesley is not, I repeat, not in this game to sit back and play defense as black, which oftentimes in these high-level chess games, if you're black, you often do play defensive. Wesley does not. This is a very committal move. It allows for en passant, which is one of the top engine moves, and white obliges. Says, en passant's forced, might as well take it. You take with the rook. Slight inaccuracy. What they wanted to do was take with the bishop. You kind of lose all your advantage if you do take with the rook, but it was a very minuscule advantage. It was about 1 point, so it was teetering on the point of no return for white, but Wesley does give it back, and it is now 0.5 advantage for Wesley at this point. Knight jumps in, attacking the rook. The rook slides over, attacking the queen. Queen slides over, gets out of the way. The knight reroutes, attacking the queen, and it's a tempo move. You're getting a better advantageous position for your knight, but at the same time you're attacking a piece of higher value, forcing them to take a turn, moving that piece out of the way, all the while, again, like I said, establishing this knight in a very good position. The queen slides over to potentially have some defensive maneuvers, because what Rolando realizes, oh crap, it's starting to look very bad for me. I was on the attack and now I'm on the defense. Here comes the other rook, here comes the pawn, creating another barrier. Wesley sacrifices the knight. Not really, obviously, because you can't take the knight with your pawn because you're pinned, and you can't take with your queen because you'd lose it right here immediately. And one of us watching this video, I guarantee you would have done that. But we have the rook. And ladies and gentlemen, this is the end of the game for white. I'm going to turn on the feedback. I'm going to turn on the evaluation. You can see that was a mistake. You can see the evaluation now after that rook move is 2.0 in Wesley's favor. The next few moves are disgusting moves by Wesley So, who, let's just say it, what's Gotham's favorite thing to say? He moves his knight in position, he checks, you have to take. You take with the rook, you are now up 2 pieces of material. You get attacked by the bishop, and what do? You sacrifice the rook! The reason that you sacrifice the rook is because if you take with the bishop, you lose the game immediately. You lose the game immediately if and only if you do follow up with taking with the queen, because after you take with the queen, there is nothing that white can do. White can play the best moves, moving here, but the bishop comes in now, takes the knight, and it's just all she wrote. It's e3 here is the best move, but after e3 you give a c2 move right here, and you are threatening mate. And to stop mate, you have to sacrifice your queen, and once you move your queen there, it is GG, because you just start bringing in the pieces. You start attacking this rook, and it is just too much of a stranglehold. But Rolando does not do that. Rolando takes, queen takes, knight jumps in, bishop moves over, queen slides back, and that is where the knight jumps in, the rook gets taken, and it is GG. Wesley So became a Grandmaster at the young age of 14. It is unfortunate that Wesley So is part of this generation, and there's a whole bunch of other strong Grandmasters, with the likes of Fabiano, with the likes of Hikaru, with the likes of Magnus Carlsen, Ding Liren, Jan Nepomniachtchi, those top 5, top 10 individuals. Wesley So always seems to be just not quite good enough. Way better than me. Way better than me. And he's got a lot of accolades to his name. But when it comes to big moments, oftentimes Wesley So has not risen to the occasion. There's just levels, as Magnus Carlsen said, there's everybody else, and then there's no one, and then there's him. Wesley So seems to be in that everyone else category. Great player. I'm glad he's playing for America at this point, or he's representing America when he plays chess. He is a phenomenal player, very good at prep work, and I'm excited to see where he goes in his career. As always, hold the line until next time. Peace.